So, hello everyone, welcome back to Theros episode 3. We're very glad to be back, as you can see. We are joined by everyone today, by the way. Alias is having some problems with her camera, but she is here, even if she is just a large logo on the screen at the moment. But she is here, it's just some technical difficulties, so you'll have to imagine her dismay as I try to kill her again in this episode. But, hello everyone, how we doing? Any updates? Anybody got any fun self-promotion to get out the way? No, we're all unproductive.
An update for Black Blades next week. You know,
yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you listen to our other D&D show, Black Blades, if you don't, I'm mortally offended, and you should. But if you do, it will be going on a short break. I'm getting into the process of moving and obviously doing Theros. And what's going to be happening though is there's not going to be no show on the alternating weeks. Craig, the man himself, Briseus the Bold, will be running a mini-series actually, which sees us travel to the frozen north as dragon slayers in a world of his own creation, which will be very exciting. So
yes,
that's going to be great. It's going to alternate with Theros for the next few sessions. So over the course of the next 6 weeks, you'll get to see the whole campaign come out. And yeah, I'm playing in it. Justin and Alias, you are as well. It's the whole Black Blades cast. Although Craig and I swapped, of course. I'm very excited to play as well. I love playing. So anyway, welcome back to Theros. Last time we joined the party, of course, they faced their first truly formidable foe. I can't speak today. Just can it. They faced their first truly formidable foe, which is actually quite hard to say, in the Catoblepus, which nearly saw party members perish. However, they did persevere, and they found their way back on the road to Akros in the company of Captain Diomedes and his Akroan hoplites. Now, they've been told that they're going to be taken to General Sophia, who will be able to assist them with their mission from Meletis. So we're going to join the party, however, as they have a most fitful night's sleep. They've all been stirred into a dream. With mists enveloping and a golden mask forming in the center, the entire party find themselves standing side by side in this lucid nightmare. The mask slowly forms and coalesces until it's almost so real you feel as though you could reach out and touch it. The face is twisted in screaming anguish. But for now, it silently stares out towards you. What would any of you like to do?
I would like to ask the party, did somebody put something in our dinner?
Oh, you're all here. I thought this was just a me dream.
So working world, sleeping world. This is what's going on now.
I want to reach over and poke Briseus.
Yes,
Are we
I'm
physically
here.
there,
I'm here.
or are we just envisioning this mist and mask?
You can see each other as though you were real. However, when you reach out to poke Briseus, your hand almost evaporates into the very mist you see swirling around yourselves, almost though it passes straight through him.
Oh,
As you're all coming
that's
to
weird.
bearings with your surroundings, the mist swirls once again around this golden mask until undeniably, even in this dark realm, you can see a hulking figure of shadow forming underneath it. A glimmer of steel slowly reveals itself as a twisted, cruel-looking falchion is slowly raised and points towards the group, the mask still unmoving.
Do you want anything? What do you want?
He's showing us a sword.
Well, I think that's supposed to be some kind of a threat, maybe?
Oh, I thought it was an offer. Maybe that was supposed to be our sword.
Oh, maybe it's a gift. Maybe this is a good dream.
I'm
gonna
gonna
hide
read.
Can I
behind her
roll
eyes.
to see if it's a good dream?
I tell you what, you can roll me a history check if you'd like.
Oh yeah, see if I can recognize that mask.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure, I definitely know where that button is.
It's the
I
one
want
that
to
says
read
history.
for my mace
As I click the history
I have
button
it
and I roll a
in
7.
this dream world.
So, well, look, Darius, as you reach down towards your mace, you do see it at your side, but once again, as you try to clasp it, your hand just wafts through its heft. Kick, you have no idea what this is. It's spooky, and you do make the link that this mask is one of the masks that you saw the Returned wearing when you fought them at the Festival of Karametra. But other than that, you are unfamiliar with what is going on whatsoever. Is anybody else doing
Is it literally one of the masks that we fought?
Oh,
or is
no,
it just...
no, sorry. I mean, it is
Okay.
of the same ilk.
Okay.
You don't recognize it, though, from that.
In my broken celestial, I will essentially, ask, what is happening? Why are you here, you monster? You abomination.
At this,
I hate these things.
the vapors forming this hulking body seem to almost flinch in reaction to your words, and the mask immediately pivots to meet your gaze, Tefosra. The cleaver remains unmoving, pointed towards the group at large.
Maybe he just, maybe he just wants to share. Do a trade, maybe.
I would like to attempt to cast Prestidigitation.
Ooh. What are you trying to do?
Literally just, I wanna make, let's say, I'll make the smell of peppermint waft, or attempt to do so.
Alright, as you reach out your hand in this strange dream and attempt to summon magic that is so familiar to you, it's a spell that any mage worth their salt can cast without thinking about it. It's as if a great tribulation enters your mind, and the strain and the stress of doing so. You see the familiar sparks of green mist begin to swirl around your fingers, and then almost crack and dissipate immediately, as if you hold no power here.
What's wrong? What happened?
Well, I don't like this at all.
No.
If this really is a dream, though.
Is this in character cackling?
Yes. If this really is a dream, though, I'm just gonna like touch the sword.
All right, as you reach out towards this hefty blade, your hand meets it, and unlike the efforts of all of the others, you do for a moment feel the cold sensation of steel on your fingertips. But as you make contact with it, a roaring noise like a unholy scream erupts in your ears and startles all of you awake. And you awake with cold sweats. But however, outside, even though it seems as though you're resting for mere moments, it appears to be that dawn is breaking outside, and you can hear noise of the Akroan soldiers breaking camp. Each one of you wakes in a drench of night sweat and unsure of what just happened as you make your way out of your tents.
What was that? Okay, okay. It was just a bad dream. Just a bad dream.
I'm gonna go ahead and immediately cast Prestidigitation to clean the sweat off.
Justin takes what's called the wizard shower and quickly prestidigitates himself clean.
Hey, you all just saw that mask, right?
Yes,
I
I did.
stretch
Everyone?
out my arms and I say, "Oh, mask? No, I had a great night's sleep." And I attempt to roll deception.
Yeah, make me a deception roll.
Come on!
What did you roll?
I rolled a 5. I rolled a natural.
No, that's a 1.
I rolled a natural 1.
So to the rest
I
of
have
the
a
group,
+4 in deception, and I haven't.
to the rest of the
You rolled a
group,
natural 1 and a natural 20.
yeah, that was his advantage roll.
Oh
But,
wow!
Yeah.
So to the rest of the group, through the thin, waning smile of Nikos, it is very obvious that he is deeply troubled and seems to have shared the same dream you all did. Nice try.
You were literally there. You literally exclaimed to us.
I am trying to Fosra. I'm trying really hard. I'm very
Why
scared.
would you try with us on this specifically? Get better.
Nikos does not have a good response and so grumbles to himself.
Well, as you're all getting your bearings and sort of realizing that that was in fact a shared dream or vision of sorts, your attention suddenly returns to the world around you, and you realize that the soldiers are in fact breaking camp, and Captain Diomedes appears to be cleaning not only his but the rest of his troops' gear by the campfire mere feet away from you, sat on one of the stones that they moved there to make the makeshift camp. He looks up towards you with a cocked eyebrow, his helmet off for once, and simply says, "You all woke with a start. Now, I've seen some strange things in my time, but that doesn't seem coincidental to me."
Yeah, we shared some sort of weird connection, and Nikos in that connection, he was being all spooky and stuff. It was weird.
Yes, I latch onto this. A lie, I recognize it. Yes, I was playing a harmless prank on my fellow friends.
But you weren't in the same tent. How did you?
Oh, it's the ways of the stars. And Nikos points upward at what I assume to be a completely starless sky, and just gestures vaguely towards it.
Yes, it is the morning sky as the clouds are
There's
breaking
one
and the
star.
sun is peeking through. There is. You don't want to look directly at that one.
No.
You seem to say this, and Diomedes again looks very skeptical and goes, well, if you truly were sharing some sort of vision, as the Leonin said, sounds like you may need to talk to a priest or an oracle. Many of my men swear by the Temple of Triumph here in Akros. I'd rather you don't keep bad omens with you.
We won't. We'll go over. We'll go over and have a chat at some point. Thank you for the recommendation.
With this, he sort of scoffs to himself and goes, that's alright.
What a nice
Falsra,
man.
did you feel anything when you grabbed that sword?
Why would you grab it?
Why not? I guess.
I do not fear death. I do not expect it anytime soon.
Yeah, but swords are sharp.
Yeah, and like you not fearing death, all well and good. Gets
Which
the rest
means
of us in trouble.
It was the best. I was the best one to test it.
Okay.
I was the guinea cat.
But if anything happened, we weren't going to be able to help you.
I didn't expect anything to happen. For what it's worth, something kind of happened.
Maybe we should take up this soldier boy on his offer of the Oracle at the Temple of Triumph. Maybe we should head on over.
What good would seeking counsel from someone under Iroas, god of war, be to us?
Ooh, maybe a religion
If
check.
any... am I just dumb? For what it's worth, my religion, not high. I'm a Leonin.
You
I
know,
don't know.
Iroas, the one of the sea.
Yeah, that intelligence that we all have.
Please do not mock my deity.
I'm not mocking. I'm merely stating I don't see how Iroas would be able to help in this situation. It seems more likely, and I'm just gonna give Nikos a little bit of a that something else might be in play.
Yes. Yes.
There can
No
be,
idea what.
There can be prophetic power in dreams, though. I think it would be foolish to not see if someone can decipher what we've seen.
Yeah, I
So
guess.
we're being followed in essence by the scary golden masks mans.
We
Well,
did.
we saw them already in person.
Yes,
Maybe
but then
this
they
was a
following
memory.
us. But did
A
that
collective
happen?
shared memory, though.
You all saw the masks.
Yeah.
I don't think we saw one quite like that, though.
I still
As-
maintain that the best course of action is probably to go to the person what the man has recommended and just ask, hey, yeah, you seen any masks or something along those lines.
As much as I don't want any more side quests, I think it will be best to look into this so it doesn't happen again.
Side quests, excellent. Love that phrase.
Well,
No, we
personally think
job
we
we're
should go and
I think we should do the thing we were asked to do before.
yeah,
It's
we
probably time sensitive.
well, yes,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
we can go on our little errands and go and do all that stuff. It's fine, but we want to go see Sophia and relay our very important message that we've been entrusted with. Only us, right? It's just us.
You make a fair point. I'd actually forgotten about that. The mask had spooked it out of my mind.
At this
All the more
Diomedes,
reason.
Diomedes walks over to you as a group and goes, the men and I are ready to move when you are, so please
Oh,
don't take
we
too
should-
long.
Probably pack up.
Upwards
all
and
that
onwards.
stuff. All right, hang on.
Yes.
Pack up.
I'd like to
Shoulder my
imagine.
bag.
I like to
Shimmy
imagine
around
that
a little bit.
the men were listening to us.
Oh, they
as we were just
absolutely,
having this.
they visibly were. Sort of
Like
with
looking at us
very.
like, who are these people?
It's a small group. There's only 4 or 5 hoplites with Diomedes, but you kind of noticed a mixture of either stoic or contemptuous expressions on their faces.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
did just insult their gods.
Oops.
God.
Just a bit.
Quite loudly.
As we all pack up our stuff, I'm gonna finish and quickly go over to Felix's camp.
Mhm.
So I walk up to Felix and I'm saying, "Good morning, Felix.
Oh, good morning, Darius. How are you?
Well, since
Besides
you've
the whole
had
spooky gold mask thing.
yes, well, since you have had some issues in the last couple days in combat, I figured that I might be able to help you with that. So, and I'm gonna reach over and I'm gonna pat you on your light armor and you're right on your back, and it's gonna start to glow. And
Oh.
I give you
Ooh.
the blessing of the forge, so you get a +1 to your AC for the rest of the day.
Oh,
So as the
Ooh.
glow diminishes slowly on
That's
your
so
armor, you see
cool.
that it's left in absolutely pristine condition, and it does feel like it's in better shape than you've ever worn it before.
it's like brand new. Thank you so much. It's,
And for
it's
the rest of the
wonderful.
day, you have a
Just-
+1 to your AC.
I love this. Oh. I feel very fancy. I hope I don't die again.
Stay behind me for the rest. Thanks.
I will.
And
Darius, before you go, I was wondering, you and Briseus, you're always very calm and you always seem to know exactly what you want to do in combat, and I don't, as you may have noticed, I kind of panic and things happen. So
Mhm.
if we have time, do you think you could maybe train me a little bit so I could be a bit better and not die all the time? Because you've saved my butt twice now, and I'm very grateful, and I would like to be better.
Absolutely. I would want you to be safer, and if I can help, I will.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And then I'm gonna pack up.
Yeah,
All right.
let's go before the Leo's
So you all
behind.
get on the road with the Akroans, and it's really not far to the city now. You can actually see the fields that lead up to it, sort of rough plains, very different to the luscious farmland of Melitus. This is more rough plains and steppes, although you can see some people are farming out on it, but more so you see a lot of almost like training camps. It almost seems as though many different groups are using this land for their own purpose. You see some groups of hoplites training, you see some cavalry, and you even see some groups of archers, something that you don't typically associate with Akros. But it does seem as though this land is very heavily militarized, especially before you get to the city. As you're walking through it, you can actually see the Titan Steps, the famous cliffs that lead up to the city of Akros itself, which sits high on the cliff top. And up there you can make out the famous fortress, as well as the previously mentioned Temple of Triumph, a sort of glorious-looking Parthenon-esque building at the top of the cliff. As you make your way through it, you approach one of the larger camps, closer to the Titan Steps, just at the bottom of them, in fact, and as you get there, Diomedes turns towards you and goes, "Well, this is my end of the bargain. I'll bring you in here and introduce you to Sophia. I ask that you are respectful. She is one of the most reliant leaders in Akros today. You come to Akros in a time of turmoil. Please bear that in mind."
I'm gonna turn to Nikos.
Oh,
And
yep.
be like,
I was going to turn to him too.
we all just
Nikos is like the
collectively
teen
just
kid,
turn.
like-
I think we all just turned it.
Yeah, be like, Nikos, not now, okay?
I retract the hand that was about to go and land on his shoulder and spit some horrible spiel about how we are grateful and he will live on in legend.
And with this, he gives you a curt nod and begins leading you towards what is quite clearly the central command tent of this makeshift army emplacement. You can see that it is much bigger and much more heavily manned than some of the other ones that you passed. And as you head through it, he opens the tent door and walks inside. Surprisingly, there are no guards or anyone inside except for a dark-skinned woman with closely cropped black hair sitting at a table, seemingly poring over what seems to be endless documents and letters. As you head in, she doesn't look up, but Diomedes goes, "My general, these are the adventurers that I recently required the aid of on the road. They say that they've come bearing important news from Meletus, and, well, truth be told, I took it upon myself to promise in return for their help that I would give them an audience with you. I apologize if this is inconvenient for you, but I think what they have to say might be important. And with this, she looks up with a smile and goes, "That's quite all right. I'll happily hear them out. Thank you, Diomedes. You may stay here." And with this, he gives one more nod and says, "Yes, they mean well, even if at times they are somewhat naive to the ways of Akros." And steps to the side, staring at you, Nikos.
I cough.
With this, the general stands up from her chair and walks around the desk. You see that it's a very sparsely decorated command tent. There seems to actually be a lot of stuff still in crates, or you see carpets and pennants still rolled up, almost as though not a care's been given to actually decorating the place. And she looks towards you all and goes, "Well, I'm afraid I'm very busy, so I would ask for haste in your audience."
Just to make
Okay,
sure,
kind
this
of.
isn't Lectoy?
Lekthoi is a warrior
Lecthoi.
caste in Akros.
Oh,
So the Lecthoi are the warrior caste of Akros, of which Diomedes, all of the hoplites, and Sophia would undoubtedly be members of.
Okay.
Kik is going to walk up to General Sophia, gonna go flip clop on the ground, get a little bit closer to her, and say, "Okay, you see, so we were at the Karametra Crop Festival, and then there zombies attacked, and we were told by a man in a cloak that we should tell you that there were more zombies that were attacking. And also, we saw a cow, undead cow, killed the undead cow, and now we're here. Hello."
With this,
I was told to be quiet.
Yes.
With this,
Nope.
even this clearly
Kinda
veteran
like
soldier,
smack Nyktos on the arm.
this veteran soldier with a face of steel at this, does crack half a smile, and takes half a step backwards and raises her hand towards you, Kik, and goes, "You'll have to forgive me. I might need a little bit more detail and less haste than that, perhaps."
So we were
I must
at the
apologize
Karametra Crop
for my
Festival,
goat comrade.
and I was eating a pear when I heard
Okay,
this
so
poet,
I don't think that we need...
Felix, the other satyr.
Okay. There was an attack at the Festival of Karametra. The attack was brought out by the returned. Hilos, one of the 12 of Meletus, as I assume you know, asked us to travel
course.
here to ask for aid. Technically, he asked us to bring this news to the king and queen. However, I've heard that they are currently indisposed.
That is correct. Taranika, the king's niece, rules in his stead currently. She is somewhat beset by political turmoil right now, so Diomedes, you did well to bring them to me. I do not claim to speak for the royalty of Akros, but military matters such as this, I am more than capable of handling, were we in normal times. I'm afraid that any general, as I'm sure you saw many on your way here, any general who deems it upon themselves to act as a commander of sorts would be inviting somewhat unwanted attention given the current climate. However, this doesn't mean I can't help you. It just means you're going to have to win over some of the soldiers yourself. Now, forgive me, I do not know how much any of you know of Akros. Are there any of you familiar with how our land operates?
I spent a considerable amount of time here.
She looks at you and you see almost a vague squint at you, Briseus, until the moment passes and she goes, "Oh, well then that's most helpful. In that case you'll know that Akros is a city of warriors, and these warriors often take their rule unto themselves while remaining loyal to the city. The Strathoi are the names we give to bands of warriors. You'll have seen many of them training in the fields leading up to the Titan Steps as you walked here. While I cannot give direct order intervening in foreign affairs, as that would be far overstepping my bounds given such a tumultuous time, what I can do is recommend you a leader of one of these Strathoi, who would be much more easily able to leave the city to the aid of Meletus."
Sounds perfect.
And I think I may have the Strathoi in mind. In fact, it's the one that our fine captain here belongs to. With this, she turns towards Diomedes and goes, Diomedes, you may speak plainly. Do you think Hyksos would be interested in helping? I mean, he sent you all to help on that road. And with this, Diomedes frowns. You can see his helmet by his side, his expression. He is not a man who hides his emotions, and he seems to furrow his brow and look at the floor for a moment and goes, the men have just returned from duty, but yes, I imagine Hyksos would be interested. And with this, she looks towards the room and goes, well, if that's an agreeable solution.
You know what? I don't speak for the group, but I think this is a good thing, and I'm looking to everyone to make sure that I'm not overstepping my bounds. Just saying what I think.
You said we might have to prove ourselves. How or what form would that take?
Well, I'm sure, having spent a lot of time in Akros, you are aware that our culture is proud and strong, and people follow and help those they see worthy. I do not know what form a test may take, or even if there will be one at all, but you should be prepared. Hyksos is amongst the wisest and the kindest of the leaders of the Strathoi. He is the longest serving and has declined many higher postings offered to him. If anyone will help you, it will be him. But he isn't a Crowan through and through. So be prepared for him to ask you to prove your worth, and perhaps, by extension, the worth of Meletis in doing so.
Sounds easy enough. We've got Briseus the Bull on our side.
Yeah, we got this guy.
We'll be fine.
And
I didn't really.
At this,
Most of our work is done by him.
At this, the visage slips, and Sophia's face cracks into a smile, and she goes, I knew I'd seen you prior. I've watched you in the games before. A pleasure
Yes,
to welcome you back. In fact,
Thank
your
you.
positioning, as I'm sure you're aware, as an honorary member of the Lekthoi, should do you well with Hyksos.
Well, that's good, I suppose. I'm uncomfortable with the attention.
Well, we can
I do
exploit
not envy
it.
you.
Sorry.
We should.
I had a question, if you don't mind, Madam General.
Just general is fine.
Yes. Oh, General. Do you by any chance know of a scribe Elos or Elos?
I'm afraid I deal with a lot of scribes every day. I would be lying if I said I recalled many of their names. Forgive me, but that name means nothing to me.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Let's go.
And all of you, Diomedes will lead you to Hyksos's Ludus.
Ooh. Never been in a ludus before.
Well, it's the first time for everything.
Sounds lewd.
Oh dear. So, as the conversation concludes, and you will make your way out of Sophia's tent with Diomedes slightly grumbling to himself and leading you in front, is there anything any of you would like to do or ask or anything like that before we head into Akros itself?
Well, I would like to ask Diomedes a question.
Yep.
Is there any chance we can visit the Temple of Triumph on the way, per your suggestion, or?
With this, he actually stops walking and begins tapping his foot on the ground side and he goes, you know, Hyksos may appreciate some time to prepare for your arrival. Forgive me, Briseus, I did not know of your victories in the games. You are, whether you like it or not, a welcome member of us. You may appreciate the time to
thank
prepare. You could head to the temple first.
Why not? Never
Cool.
seen it. We could learn so much.
I've never been here. This is awesome.
With this he goes, yes, I shall lead you past Hyksos's Ludus on the way there.
Hmm.
It's hard to miss. You shouldn't have any trouble finding your way back from the temple when you're ready. So with this, he begins leading you out of the camp and up the Titan steps, the natural cliff path that leads up to the city of Akros itself. You can see along this path that there is a reason all of you, no matter how rudimentary your knowledge of history, all of you would know that Akros has never been conquered. The city has never been taken, and even in its darkest days, the fortress atop the cliff stood. And you can see why as you head up this path. There are numerous guard posts that appear out of nowhere. For somebody unfamiliar with this land, trying to assault up a path like this would be beyond suicidal. As you reach the top of the steep climb, you reach the gates of Akros itself. Everything here is made out of pristine clay and simple wood. It's not a beautiful city by any means, but it is beautifully crafted and elegant almost in its simplicity. As you reach the top of the stairs, you don't make it too far into the city at all with its dusty paved roads until Diomedes gestures to a large open courtyard leading to a manor house to your left, and he goes, "This is Hixus's Ludus. You can see many of the men training inside already, and indeed the courtyard is full of people even repairing chariots or dueling one-on-one. It seems to truly be a place of combat training." He goes, "Well, now that you're aware where this is, I'll lead you to the temple. It's not long, it's just off the central courtyard." And true to his word, after a few more minutes of ambling through the dusty streets of Akros, you reach a glorious white marble central courtyard, which seems to be decorated with statues of heroes and battle commemorations from times gone by. At one end of it is the undeniable figure of the Temple of Triumph, its huge round roof striking into the sky, supported by beautiful pillars of stone. Its entrance is clear, up a long flight of stairs towards large open double doors, and whereas you haven't seen too many civilians or non-military people wandering around the streets of Akros too much, the area around the temple is absolutely buzzing. There are large crowds flitting in and out, as well as all sorts of soapbox preachers and people peddling wares in the courtyard outside. With this, Diomedes looks towards you and goes, "Well, I hope you don't need any further directions from here. I'll see you back at Hixus's. Until
Thank
then,
you.
take care."
Oh, sorry, just before you go, you spoke of prophets and oracles.
Yes.
What buildings or areas would we find them?
He looks towards the dominating temple of the landscape and looks back to you, Nikos, and says, "They're in the temple."
You know what? Makes sense.
It
Good
does.
design.
Look for any of the clearly garbed priests. I believe the Eroan priests only ever dress themselves in robes of red. They should be easy to spot even amidst the crowds. One of them will
Fantastic.
take you to wherever they need to take you. I'm not a particularly religious man, I apologize.
Well, thank you anyway, and you will go down in history as one of the most helpful and generous command, whatever it is your rank is, of whatever. Anyway, I'll turn and I start
Nikos,
walking
we're
towards the
literally going
temple.
to see him after this.
After this, he turns to you, Tafosra, and he goes, "Leonin, your kind may be a rarity here, but know you are welcome. I ask one thing of you. Try to stop this one getting himself killed," and gestures towards Nikos. And with that, he turns on his heel and begins walking back towards the Ludus.
Killed?
That's your job now.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, I'm a babysitter.
I'm.
You're a baby. You are 3, 4, something like that.
6.
You're a toddler.
Wait, he's 6.
I'm 6. I am 6. That makes me a child, not a baby.
Okay, Cub.
Yes, it does.
Calm down.
I quite like the name Cub, actually. Can we go into the temple?
Yes.
Thank you.
I
To
don't
the
know, candy.
temple.
All right.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
So you guys make your way up the long flight of white steps to the Temple of Triumph, and as soon as you enter, you see that indeed this is a full open-plan temple. In fact, there doesn't seem to be many offshoots or other levels to it at all. Instead, it's almost like a glorious memorial with many statues of heroes, some of which you recognize from the Legends of Theros, some of which you don't. One of the ones that would be immediately obvious to you, Briseis, is you do see a statue of the fabled Kithian, as well as a newly constructed statue that appears to resemble a recent king of Akros. However, as you head in, you see many, many groups praying and paying respects to different statues stationed all around inside the temple. What would you like to do? There are many priests, by the way, I should say. You can see at least one tending each of the 12 or so statues ringing the building.
How does this work? Do we just like go up to
You
them?
you just ask.
But
Ask
which
for their
one?
aid. Whichever one's closest, I guess.
What if they're not nice?
We'll move to the next
Briseus,
one.
you do it. Can you ask one of them?
Very well. If it is such a task, I will do it. I will take on this burden, and I will move to the closest priest.
As you approach the
Not
closest
that one.
priest, who is previously just sweeping with a simple straw brush, cleaning one of the nearby statues, you look and see a startled look in his eyes as you approach Briseus. He immediately drops the mop and starts shuffling towards you. This man must be in his late 70s, if not early 80s, with thinning white hair, but still a deceptively strong, lithe build that perhaps tells of a previous profession in his past. And he shuffles up to you and clutches your forearm, Briseus. And when he looks at you, you do see that he is almost blind from cataracts in his eyes. And he goes, "Ah, an honor to have one touched by Aroas. Come and visit his holy temple.
Oh,
Tell me, child, what brings you here?"
Well, my brother, we were looking to get advice on dreams of someone who can perhaps provide some divination on them.
With
Appears
this,
myself and my companion shared a dream last night.
a barely toothed smile opens on his face. He goes, it would make sense for such a champion of the one true God to be blessed with such beautiful visions. Hell, follow me. And with this, he leads you behind one of the statues to a small passageway, which leads up a short flight of stairs to a balcony. And from this balcony, the view immediately strikes you all as breathtaking. You have a view out over the whole Akroan plains, and it is undeniably a beautiful sight. And as you all enter and are somewhat struck by this view, the blind old priest seems to realize as his smile grows wider, and he goes, "Yes, many glories are constructed to Aroas, but perhaps none finer than the land of Akros itself." And he sort of sweeps an arm very dramatically out over it. He goes, "Now, tell me, my friends, what of this vision Aroas blessed you with?"
It wasn't really like a blessing vision. It was more of
It's not good.
there was a scary time. There was
little bit
a
threatening.
threatening good descriptor of what
There's
that
a
feeling
mask
was.
and a mist and a sword.
There was a horrible giant golden mask glaring at us, and then this one, and I point to Fosra, touched the sword, and then everything started screaming, and then we woke up.
With this, slowly the smile fades and the look on his face darkens. And you notice that, despite his seeming fixation on nothing, he's definitely almost seeking and searching around the group at large. And Nikos, as you finish speaking, his eyes lock onto yours and he goes, one cast down by a god. So foolish. Ah.
We don't need to go into that. We can talk about the dream instead.
And then he snaps to Tefosra. And in his husky whisper, he simply goes, "And you, one who typically would reject or revile even the gods, undeniably faced with their reality. Everything makes more sense now." Then he snaps to you, Darius. He goes, "And one who would turn their back on the god that should be, and instead perhaps meet the god that should have really been in their heart all along." Then he snaps towards you, Kick, and goes, "And you, such a young satyr, with no idea how much of a champion they've already become, and the goddess of the hunt's eyes." And then last of all, he flicks to you, Felix, and you can see the look of almost curious intensity he has fades, and is replaced with one of almost, not quite fear, but certainly a lack of understanding. As he looks towards you and he goes, "And you, touched by a power so old and long forgotten, yet undeniably returned. Perhaps you really are the architect of all of this.
I stare at Felix.
Please don't put that on me. I don't like the sound of that at all.
It's not I who put it on you, my child. Somebody far more greater and far more terrible.
Well, now that these egos have been inflated,
Some egos got inflated. Some of us got called mistakes by this guy. So.
With this,
Felix is just
he
sitting there,
snaps
like,
back towards
wide-eyed.
you, Nikos, and he raises a hand, and a kind smile returns to his face, and he simply says, Now, child, do not be flustered. A mistake is perhaps the biggest blessing of all. Look at all of your friends, cursed with seeming purpose. But the mistake is the one who is truly free, and the one who can truly choose. He goes, however, to talk of this vision or premonition you had,
Oh, yes.
I'm afraid he whose face you saw is all too real. You saw the face of the Murder King. He serves a god darker than any of those you are all familiar with. You should all count yourself blessed that none of you have heard the name Timoret before.
Well, we just have, thanks.
A wise
Could I-
point. I apologize yet again, my child.
Can I do a history check to see if I actually know who that is?
Yeah, you can make a history check to see if you recognize the name.
Cool. That's a solid 13.
You don't recognize the name, but you have in taverns and in travels and wanderings, you have heard the name the Murder King used as almost like a plot device in bardic tales or a villain for theater. And not too often though, and you're unfamiliar with the basis of it.
I always thought that the Murder King was just a sort of a bit of a campy ending to campfire stories, not an actual thing.
And with this, the priest lets out a wheezy chuckle and says to you, if only it was so. The Murder King, truth be told, was a mere villain, a minor plague upon this land, but he struck a concord with gods foul and dark. Truth be told, it is a good thing you have all come here today, and a good thing that you appear to have attracted his attention.
Why is that a good thing?
That sounds like a bad thing.
Seems like a bad Murder King. Murder King.
Well, it is my belief, and the belief of many of my scholarly brothers, that most likely only a group, so even if unwillingly marked by fate, would be the type to stand up against such a threat. Although you may not even have a choice in the matter, it seems from your description of the vision, he may have chosen you.
God. What do we
said,
do?
You said he works for one of the dark gods. In my eyes, most of the gods have their follies. Would you mind being a little bit more specific?
Timoret strikes a deal with Erebos, the god of the dead.
Ooh.
His roving bands have returned, pillage and destroy. They are difficult to combat, for they have no tactical or strategic aim. They only seek to kill in Erebos' name, and fill the underworld with more willing or unwilling subjects. Be warned, Timoret is not like many of the undead thralls you will have seen in the Returned. He is bolder of spirit. He is wise, and he is cruel. Not all Returned are mindless. Many cling on to those who they were. Timoret clings on to what he can be, seeking to become a champion of death, as there is nothing left in the living world for him.
Great.
So what do we do? I mean, is he out to get us, or
It certainly seems as though he challenged you. However,
I do have to touch the sword? Touch the sword.
I must
I'm putting
impress
this on
upon
you.
you the truth that is somewhat uncomfortable. You may sit in the walls of a fine city like Akros, and the returned will continue. And Timoret, having taken offense at his schemes being foiled, will send countless after you. Many will die defending you. Or you may seek out Timoret yourself and put an end to his plague upon this land.
Neither of those options seem very good,
Well-
but if fate would have it, then it has to be so. We have to deal with him. Can't believe I'm saying that, but
I agree. If he works for that Cur Erebos, I think he should be dealt with actively.
Hmm.
How would we even defeat one such as him?
Timoret exists as any other living creature. Remember, Erebos may return the dead, but they can always be killed twice.
that sounds
Well-
like a lot of work.
Oh, thank you for the terrible, 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 awful news. I guess. Do you have any advice whatsoever, apart from just go find, and to quote you here, the Murder King?
Yes,
And I can't stress
Well-
this enough.
the teachings of Erebos are applicable here. Fear not. Timoret is as proud as he is cruel. Head to his dead lands to the west. You've already disrupted his plans once. I say if you disrupt him again, he may do you the courtesy of a personal appearance.
Oh, goody.
Yes, because I
I
really
truly
want
am
to...
sorry that I couldn't bring happier tidings, but we will do all we can to help, and Erebos is certainly with you. And he smiles towards you, Briseos.
Mhm.
So I just smile back.
Goldfish.
I hope my God's with me. I look up to the sky.
With this,
Then he-
the priest actually chuckles, looking at the floor, and he goes, "Perhaps I would hope for the opposite in your case. Forgive me. I couldn't resist."
Well, listen, he's not been very useful up until this point. I didn't mean that. Don't. That was a gag.
I mean, for what it's worth, your god is allegedly the first of the returned, so don't know how much good he'll be.
Well,
Right, maybe conflict of interest a little bit.
a little bit conflict of interest, yes. Maybe I should just not involve your man for a hot minute. I think that might be the idea going forward. Oh,
Well,
what-
we don't exactly know what he wants. Maybe at some point he'll make it known to you.
that would be nice if that were to happen. Should we find this Hixus person? I'm getting very anxious about the whole Murder King thing. I kind of want to be distracted by a
With
by a
this-
strong
The
man.
priest shuffles towards you and actually places a bony hand on your shoulder, Nikos, and says, "Fear not, within the walls of Akros you couldn't be safer. They're there." And he gives you a little pat.
Thank you for the old man pat. Hopefully that'll stop the undead. I walk away. I walk downstairs. I'm in a huff.
The priest turns towards the rest of the group and says, "That one. You will be quite the character on your journey, I'm sure. But he possesses
no idea.
undeniable talents."
What talents?
Your talent is really bad at lying. That's a talent.
To the rest of you, he looks at you as a group after Nikos has stormed off in a huff, and he says, "Listen, I may be an old priest speaking as pretentiously as you might imagine, but you have to look at the reality and realize what you're meant to do. Look at the group of you. You have one who follows the goddess of the hunt, one touched by fate. The god of the forge, a good, strong god. The god of Akros. And the god who cares most about the sanctity of death. I couldn't imagine a better group to take down a plague such as Timoret. It will not be easy.
Felix, the dickhead.
For this, he simply says, it won't be easy. And I truly am sorry that this fate has befallen you. But I do believe that you can persevere.
Well, fate's got us this far. Let's just continue forward, I say. Right, where did Nikos go? Oh, damn it. I'm gonna run down and look for him.
You find Nico sulking against a wall at the bottom of the stairs.
And I've rolled to sulk.
You gotta roll the vibe check.
Yeah, that's the 420 D69s in the chat.
Okay, there we go. Just
All right, so as you all head back down the staircase as the old priest, unless any of you are wanting to ask him anything.
I guess I would just clasp his forearm and say, thank you for the information.
With this, he nods and smiles in your face and seems somewhat comforted as you clasp his forearm. And he goes to leaning on the balcony, deep in thought, staring out with unseeing eyes over the plains of Akros.
Oh, wait, dude, you dropped your broom. Do you all want that back?
I'm good, thank you.
Let's
Somebody else will have picked it up by now. I do that a lot.
Sad old man.
I'm a very bad cleaner.
It'll be hard when you can't see the broom.
All right.
So, as you all make your way down the stairs and back into the main atrium of the Temple of Triumph, what would you like to do?
I would like to have a look at some of the heroes.
Sure. So,
And,
roll me. Why don't you roll me a history check,
Sure.
Felix? We'll see how many you recognize.
Oh.
16. All right, nice. You don't know many of them because many of these are seemingly very specific to Akroan military history. But you do recognize a couple, and actually, one of them you can recognize by sort of intuition based on his physical appearance. You certainly recognize Kithian, who you know is a widely regarded and beloved hero of Akros, well known for his heroic sacrifice, we'll say. And another one you recognize is Anax, who you'll know as a recent king who has actually been missing for some time and recently essentially assumed to be dead. Now, as you look around the others, you don't really recognize any for a while until you recognize two that you actually don't expect to see here. But the two you see honored are actually Kinios and Tiro, known as the Twin Kings of Melitus. They're founding kings and some of the greatest heroes that Theros at large has ever seen.
Oh, I know these, and that one, and that one. I'm going to do like a whole history lesson for whoever's listening.
All of you would know Kinios and Tiro, especially, and you'd probably all know Kithian as well. But Anax, you might not. I mean, Briseis, you would.
Yeah.
But
Oh, hey, Briseis, don't you think it's like a little bit of a bad omen to give someone a statue? Like, do they think he's dead? Don't want to say it too loud. Look back next.
Well, it's just a case of, I don't think it's like a memorial, at least not yet. It's just merely a way of honoring someone.
Everybody
Well, the
who has a
others are dead.
statue, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Hard for living
dead.
people. You made a poem about Briseis.
He's not dead. Oh,
Good point,
shit.
yes. Have you memorialized me?
Do you
I still have a few
think
years
he
left.
was dead?
Hang on, wait. I'm gonna get out the
So I
poem. I'm gonna rip it
shouldn't
into
make a
100
statue of
pieces.
I
There you
I
go,
think
see,
it's too
it's
late
fine.
now.
until you die.
Oh,
Maybe
no,
save
I've
that
made a
for my
mess.
eulogy.
I made a mess now. Where's that broom?
So, when it comes to fighting Timoret, we have to, right? There's no sort of backing away or not doing it. We're pretty much set on that path. Yes?
Fate would have it. Don't mess with fate.
I think if we tried to run, they would find us somehow.
Okay.
In my experience, the more you run away from your problems, the bigger and scarier they get, and then you just end up in a dark ditch somewhere in the middle of nowhere for 2 weeks.
Sounds
I would-
very
Definitely a story
specific.
there.
Yeah.
I would rather fight him on this plane than whatever and dream that I can't do anything.
Did you see how we just melded into each other? It was so weird. I don't want to fight there. I
End
can't
it quickly, not to do that again.
Yes. But how do we stop him from getting into our dreams? I mean, like, do we have wards or something we can cast upon us so that he doesn't do that again? Because what if he just makes us go crazy or something? I don't know. I've never dealt with
Dorius.
this before.
I don't know exactly how long you've been away from the sea, but do you have particular issues with returned there?
Not really. In the sea, there's really has its own issues, but not like you land dwellers have. We don't
Oh.
really have them.
We get dry skin.
They get wet skin.
So this is an out of character question. Are there actually like returned that can go in the water?
You
question.
wouldn't know. So I mean, Darius, you may know. You don't ever hear of problems with the return.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything in my
Okay.
reading the characters and stuff.
Maybe we should fight them on a beach.
Have
This
you tried running on sand? That's not a good idea. We
I'm
have-
very
I
large,
mean,
I'll
we're
be
just
fine.
gonna sink.
Try hard with hooves.
the prophet
Fair.
told us to go to the lands to the west. What is west of here?
The Deadlands. Didn't you get that part? Murder King, Deadlands.
There's a lot to the west, and the Deadlands are quite big. Where specifically? Are we just going to wander the marshes until we bump into the man called, and again, the Murder King? Just gonna.
Perhaps we can find a guide or something. I'm sure someone must know. Like, you know,
If you
this
I
is
don't
a
know if
murder-
anyone is
King,
going to
we
take us
could
into
just-
the land of the Murder King.
If we find dead bodies, then maybe that means that there's a murder king nearby.
Provided
we-
we don't join those dead bodies, I'm quite happy.
Well,
We're pretty good at that stuff.
if we find any returned and start defeating them, I'm sure he'll want to show his face.
But I have another question now, though, because now we've been told that we need to go west, but Melitus still needs our help. We still have to go. Do we? I don't
Well, I
know.
think we can still arrange for help to be sent to Melitus
Yes.
before
Yes.
we head to the land of the dead.
We should bring that help with us, though, as a method for not letting us be dead. Because if we're dead, then we can't additionally help, surely. Melitus can. They've got walls. They're next to the sea. They can go out on a boat for a week.
That's a lot of people. It's a good idea in. No, it's actually a terrible idea. Never mind. So okay, so let's go speak to Hixus and see
Yeah.
how many men he can provide, or women. You know, I don't generalize or whatever, but just how big of a force can be sent down to help the people in Melitus? I mean, what's to say they're even still there, the returned? I mean, they could have started wandering up and, you know, clawing their way all zombified towards us already. Who knows?
Okay, well, now you put it like that. Let's go speak to Hixus immediately.
Yes.
All right,
I
so
don't
you
like the
all
zombies.
make your way down the stairs of the temple and head towards Hixus's Ludus and make your way past the men and women, of course, training in the grounds outside. You see all sorts of disciplines being practiced, everything from what seems to be almost gladiatorial combat to more traditional Akroan means of fighting with shield and spear in hoplite formations. So you near the large wooden door of the mansion, and I assume you would like to go up and knock on it.
Yes.
Excellent. So you go up and knock on the door, and eventually a young woman in just a very simple sort of grey dress opens it for you and goes, "Hello, how may I help you?" Oh, you must be Hixus's expected guests, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Very well.
That's-
Did you know?
Please follow me. I'll show you through to the master's quarters. And she walks inside this house, and you all follow her. Inside, there is lavishly decorated, but not in a almost like a wealthy manner. Instead, there appears to be countless trophies and even things that seem to resemble old campaign maps framed on the wall, and it's almost like a shrine to somebody's military career prior. She leads you through a few rooms of this until eventually you go up a flight of stairs. Now, when you get to the top of this flight of stairs, the formation of the building suddenly changes to be made of cold, hard, dark stone. And as you get to the top of them and look out the window at the top of this staircase, you realize that you are now looking down into what appears to be a fairly large arena of sorts. Clearly, this is some sort of gladiatorial arena that Hixus maintains. The young woman raps on a door off to the side of this viewing platform, and eventually it opens, and you're greeted by a man probably in his 60s or so with olive skin and his dark hair combed back. His beard is graying, and you can see that age is beginning to take its toll on this clearly formidable warrior. And he goes, "Ah, Diomedes said you'd be coming. Well, get inside. I'll be interested to hear what you have to say." And he walks back inside his office and sits down behind a simple yet well-constructed oak desk and gestures towards a few sofas around the room.
Ooh, I'll go and have a sit down on the sofa. Ooh, that
Lovely.
sounds comfy. Ooh.
I plop down.
So as you guys
I
are sitting
lounge
down,
down.
and he appears to be, Hixus appears to be looking over a letter of some sort, and as you guys are sitting down, the young woman quickly reappears with a wooden tray with several clay jars on it, and she goes around and offers a jar of wine to each one of you one by one. Would you all take one, or?
Yeah.
Yes.
Take a cheeky glass.
All
And
right.
I'm taking Nikos away. Like, you're too
No,
young.
I'm not too young. This is. I'm bored of the stars. I grumble.
Okay,
So as
Can I,
you sip
like,
the wine, oh yeah, of course.
Can I actually, but before I drink it, can I give this like a terroir kind of like a roll for that? Like what kind of notes can I get from this wine?
Oh my goodness! All right, make me a nature check. Why not? See if you can tell the vintage.
It's
I
definitely
have a
important.
vintage on that. It's an 8.
It's wine. So as you
Roasted.
take a sip of this
Great.
wine, you can all tell, though, however, as you will all have had it before, presumably at some time. This is a very, very high quality wine. You imagine that this is probably quite expensive, but Hixus looks up at you all once you've taken a sip of your refreshments, and he goes, "Good. Now that you're all welcome in my home, as of course you all are, Diomedes says you have need of my Strathoy's aid. This is a heavy thing you ask."
True, but it is a heavy burden for which we need it. We have been told that we must defend this realm from the returned, nay, from Timoret, the Murder King, and we do require your man ability, manpower, mans. We require your mans to help. Can I have my wine back, please, Felix?
My starry friend,
I gave your wine
this is
back.
the details on some things. Meltus requests aid to essentially
With
fend off
this,
some.
Hixus holds up a
difficulties.
hand halfway through your sentence. He goes, "I hadn't heard anything about Timoret. As far as I'm
That-
concerned, he sits on his throne of death in Odonos."
Yeah, that's actually something that we're going to handle. Our job with regards to you, I think, is just to send you to Meltus. Nikos, we'll be fine. Well, I'll be fine. I don't know about you.
You seek to handle Timoret.
Nikos.
That is not a name that many even know.
Well,
Look, I'm just saying, unless you know that potentially we do like men do need to go to Mellitus, but we could. It would be really helpful if you also brought some with us. Wouldn't everybody agree? And I sort of look around the room in a very please, please, please manner.
I did not wish to pass this burden on to them, but if they're willing to
With this,
accept
he
it, I'm not
points
going
a calloused, rough finger towards you, Tefosra, and he goes, "I like you. I would never place that burden upon my men. My Strathoy is one of the finest, if not the finest, in all of the Akroan lands. But to march to Odonos and lay siege to Timoret? That is a fool's errand. You are all free to do as you wish. Do not ask me to march my men to their deaths again."
No, we are the fated fools. We're going to be doing that. But it would be solid if you could help out Melitus.
This is
they
what
don't
I
have
had
that-
heard of prior, and what I'm willing to
Yes.
discuss.
Yes. So excuse our starry friend. He maybe divulged a bit too much information. So that's our mission. But your mission, if you choose to accept, of course, would be to help the Miletians out.
With your explanation, his hand drops a little, and he kind of lets out a breath and relaxes back in his chair a little bit, and he goes, "Okay, perhaps I came across too harshly. I respect all of you if that truly is a task that you are undertaking. But you must understand that I cannot help you in it. What I can help you with is this Malatian problem that was brought to me. Now, if you're taking a task on, like whatever you're doing with Odinos, then I respect you for it, even if I do view it as less than likely to succeed.
Well, we've got fate on our side, and I think we'll be okay. A little bit of extra. I don't know if I'm pushing my luck here. A little bit of extra help in the martial variety would be welcome, though. If you have any spare weapons lying around, we could maybe take a poke at, and some better armor, maybe. Perhaps.
It takes several years to train in the accruing fighting style. But if you're looking for a school to study combat at, you're welcome to train here at my Ludus. It will take a long time, however.
Well,
I
maybe
don't think
just
we have
some
the time.
weapons.
I mean, we fight with pike and shield.
Ah,
Perhaps we have
No.
swords and spears laying around that you could make use of should you wish to. But we fight with simple yet effective equipment. The Crowans fight as a unit, that's why we do not lose battles. We don't care for fancy swords or magic.
Don't lose battles, yet you're not willing to send some people down to help us with.
Nick,
Just
just
Very well.
ignore him.
If you wish to earn my Strathoy's aid in Melitus, then I suppose that makes you the Malatian ambassadors for the evening.
Yes.
I was born in
most of
Melitus.
us.
I'll be honest. The Crowans tend to view Malatians as soft. A waste of time. Southerners, basically.
Do we look soft to you?
Yes.
Technically, I wasn't
I'm not
born.
Malaysian.
I just turned up in Melitus. Sorry, I misspoke.
However, I think your cause is a worthy one. And as poor as your oration may be at times, I think you serve a good cause. But I am not a tyrant. You'll have to prove your cause to my men.
Hmm.
Luckily for you, I have an arena behind me.
We hadn't noticed.
And I have a captain, earlier, who mentioned that he'd love to take a swing at one of you.
Oh, that was
So what I
probably
suggest-
I'm going to
Fosra.
guess that it's this one. And
To Fosra 100. But he's definitely rude.
He points towards you, Nikos, and goes, Nikos,
Yeah.
it was you.
Ah.
So what I propose is a little friendly sparring match, a little test of strength. Of course, nothing to the death,
Oh, thank God.
but you acquit yourselves well in the eyes of my men, and I'll leave it up to my captain to make the decision as to whether to aid you or not. You have my blessing, but you need to win them over.
Understood.
Do you
Cool.
accept?
We accept.
Sounds fair.
Not just a me thing, right? This is a whole deal.
As tempting as that may be, no, it will be your entire party.
Oh, thank. Whew. Okay.
And to even the
Now,
odds...
when you say test of strength,
Yes.
certain things have developed in my past where I'm not exactly as physically fit as I once was. My statuesque demeanor.
Well, then I imagine you won't do well in the wrestling round. And with this, he cracks a smile and goes, "Forgive me, a crow in humor. It will simply be
Very
your
dry.
squad against a squad of my best. To make it fair, there'll only be 4 of mine. Wouldn't want it to be too one-sided. However, I propose a simple game. My men and their captain will plant a flag at one side of the arena. You will start on the other side. Claim their flag and return it across the bridge in the middle to to your side of the arena. Should you do so, you win. But remember, acquit yourselves well. That's what this is about. Show the men that you deserve their respect and their help. They are Akroans. They are good men, but they are Akroans. They will wish to help fellow warriors.
Okay,
Very well.
Sounds fun.
let's do that.
Well, take some time to prepare yourselves. And when you're ready, head down to the arena. Myself, Diomedes, and the others shall meet you there. And with this,
Right.
he stands up from behind his desk and walks out the room behind you, leaving you alone in his office.
I'm already ready. I'm running down into that arena.
I actually feel quite good about this. I assumed that it would be like a big old punch up or something.
This sounds easy. I mean, we just put Briseus and Darius to beat them all up, and to Fosra, I guess, to a degree. And then we'll just go around the sides and sneak it and then run and then we win.
Absolutely.
These
Yeah,
are
flag.
elite Croats. They won't be pushovers.
Okay, so what do we do then, Briseus? How do we
Capture
what
the
do we-
flag.
I'm
Capture
not,
the flag.
I'm not a tactical genius or anything like that. I don't know. But if we have to impress the Croats, then show no fear. Do not run.
Do not run.
But
I-
do run,
Be
but run
assertive.
towards them.
I
Yes,
can-
yeah,
I
sorry.
can
I meant
do
that.
that.
Don't run away.
Yes.
Okay.
Face them head on.
I may have a trick up my sleeve or two.
I can do that.
Ooh, excellent. I too have tricks. Yes, I think we're going to be able to do this. Crew.
All right.
Right.
So as the
I'm
party,
feeling less confident.
as the party
Wait, are
gives
we
themselves
ready?
a pep talk for their imminent demise, we'll take a short break there so people can decompress and go to the loo and get a drink and all that good stuff.
Sweet.
And we shall resume in 5 minutes or so. Anyway, okay, right. Fantastic. We're ready to return. So, hello, everyone. Welcome back. Although, of course, I edit the breaks out, so I don't know why I even bother saying welcome back, but welcome back nonetheless.
It's
And,
so we can say hi too. Hi.
Hello.
Look at that. Everybody except Justin says hi. But as we left the party,
Like, no.
they were just giving themselves a pep talk before facing the trial of strength against Hixus's men, which appears to be some sort of game of capture the flag. So we'll rejoin the party, having made their way downstairs towards the back doors of the house and the entrance to the arena, as they walk into the arena and are greeted with the sight of Captain Diomedes standing at the back of it, with 3 fully armed Akroan hoplites in front of him, blocking a narrow bridge. The arena has water features. Ooh. And
Ooh.
there is a narrow bridge in the middle, of which the hoplites appear to be stood with locked shields and pikes forward, blocking your advance across the bridge. So that is the view you currently have.
Ooh.
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 Oh, nice. A-round.
How deep is this
Hey,
water?
Good luck.
On the bridge.
So, as you enter the arena, Hixus, standing up in the stalls, spreads his arms open and goes, "Welcome to your test against my men. This is my arena. Many great champions have been crowned here, and even more have failed to claim the glory they sought. Let's hope that's not the case for you. When you are ready, my men have been as gracious as to allow you to strike the first blow. So, I'd like you all to roll initiative.
Yeah.
And the hoplites will be acting as one, and Diomedes will be acting as another. And let's get
Oh,
some
we have to choose our thing.
get some
first, right?
battle bangers on. You do indeed.
Good job, me.
What's this? You wanted
Oh,
to send the
18.
results.
Choice.
Return-
Baby.
Uh,
My
I
first good
didn't
roll
click
of the
on
game.
myself first.
Oh, I gotta click. Yep.
Oh. Right.
Aww.
Oh, okay. Well, looks like you guys are going first
Much
anyway.
lower.
Okay, are we
Much
missing
lower.
anyone? We are missing somebody, right? Kick? Are you in the? You're not
I
in the.
tried rolling twice.
You click your token and then click initiative. You get added.
Yup, I did that.
Okay, I'll
the
just.
second
What was
time.
your initiative? I'll manually add
I
you.
will
a
do
turn.
it.
I've added
There,
you.
I did it
oh,
a
okay,
third time.
never mind.
I'm
Alright.
rolling for. I'm so a niche.
You got it.
All right. So
If it worked that time. Think it
The-
did, or you entered it.
at the end of Hixus's words, the hoplites take one step forward, dropping a knee, leveling their pikes across the bridge. You can see that there is a good drop into the water. It is probably 5 or 10 feet. You definitely could climb in and out of it, but it would be very difficult. So bear that in mind. Now, the pikes are blocking the bridge, and Captain Diomedes is not wielding a shield and spear, but instead has opted to wield a large bronze two-handed sword, which he appears to be swinging around his shoulders gleefully, grinning towards you all. And with that, Felix, you're up.
Oh, goody. All right. I would like to head on down to South Park. No.
All right.
I'm gonna move over here,
Okay.
and I am going to cast Hold Person at 2nd level.
On who?
I would like to try and keep these guys from moving.
All right.
Be nice.
So I need to make a saving throw, correct? For
Yes.
both of them? Which are you casting on the 2 nearest hoplites?
Yeah, that's too closest to me. So it's a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, let me just get the stats, 1 sec. Alright. So we'll go north to south. The one in the middle of the group rolls a 17, and the one at the bottom of the group rolls a 10.
So the bottom one fails.
Okay, so they are held person. You see their natural movements cease as they seem to be locked up with the heartbreak of hold person.
All right. I am holding on for dear life. I'm going to be like, Nikos, go poke that one. I got him.
Excellent. Maybe.
Alright, anything else?
No.
Nikos, you're up.
Cool. Let me just have a... that ain't good. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to loudly shout even, they have given us the first hit. Provided we do not hit them, they can't do anything to us.
And
It would be...
You hear a returning yell across the bridge from Diomedes behind the line of hoplites as he goes, "Your battle tactics astound me."
Thank you! I think he was being genuine. That wasn't deception. I genuinely think he was being genuine. Okay, so, oh God, what do I think? I think the first thing I really want to do, I'm gonna go over to, I can't really do anything like proper this turn, but I would like to do a bit of movement over here.
Okay.
Which I can, if I can actually get my lad moving along. That's 20 feet, so I still have a little bit of movement. I would like to, my acrobatics are not awful. I would like to attempt to running jump to the other side of the water.
So, you do have 10 feet of movement left, so you could attempt to jump to the other side, but I will say this is a difficult jump and would require an acrobatics check.
There's just water at the bottom.
Can you swim?
The water doesn't look like massively deep, but there is a ledge, and I would say, to be blunt, it would take you like some time, i.e. a turn, to climb out if you were in there.
Well, I'm going to go in with the sort of like the good vibe of Nikos. I'm going to say something dramatic, which I just did, run and jump across the water and roll a 13.
So, as you run and jump, you seem to be making it cleanly until you realize that the ledge is approaching quicker and quicker than you'd like. However, you just manage to scrabble on top of it and find your way across the river.
Yeah. Nikos.
However, that is all of your movement spent.
That is. I will use my last free action to just say, but if you hit me, that's... You said we got the first hit. And then hope that my bluff works.
Briseus, you're up.
All right. Is there room on the bridge for 2 of us, or will it have to be one facing 3?
Absolutely not. It's one through, I'm afraid.
Oh Jesus. Oh, I don't want to take up all the space on the bridge, but
Give him a cheeky ball rush.
I mean,
yeah. All right, I'm gonna try doing that. So I'm gonna run down the center.
All right.
And attack the one in the middle, the one that's not hold person.
Okay, make your attack.
Try and hit with my longsword first. So that's a 23.
Before you attack, sorry, that will hit, of course, but before you attack, as you run up to them, the two who are not held personed strike out with their pikes.
Oh, heavens.
And you are going to take 2 attacks. The first of which is a natural 1, so that misses you wildly. The second of which is an 18.
18 hits.
Okay, that is going to be... You could also say they are masters of polearms, maybe. They're going to take 9 points of piercing damage. However, then you make your way through, you bat away the pikes as they graze your shoulder, and you land a solid blow on the one in the middle. Would you like to roll your damage?
Yes. There we go. That's 12 slashing.
A heavy blow.
And...
Mortality in a single blow.
I am also gonna. I'm just gonna divine smite him as well, seeing as I've landed a hit.
All right.
So it'll be an additional 2d8 radiant damage. That's 9 radiant damage.
Wow, a hammering blow, you could say. Hammering horns, do it. Let's go.
Well, yes, that's what I was going to do with my bonus action. I'm going to hammering horn. So it needs to make a strength saving throw.
All right.
And the DC will be 13.
Okay, so it rolls a. This is actually going to be really close. Let me check the stats. It rolls a 14, I'm afraid.
Oh no! So he's not shoved back.
He's not shoved back. You see him manage to ground his footing even under the withering blow you deliver.
Jeez.
All right, okay.
Kill this man.
That ends my turn.
All right, Darius Lascaris, you're up.
All right. So I'm going to run up right behind and say, "Bah, you're in the way." And I'm going to cast magic weapon on my own mace.
All right.
Preparing. Actually, sorry. I'm just gonna get my mace out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast spiritual weapon because that's way cooler.
Okay. Where would you like to cast your spiritual weapon? We'll sort you out a token for it next session, by the way. I did forget this time. I'm sorry.
I also forgot. That's okay.
I
would like to cast it hovering over the one that Briseis has attacked.
Okay.
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
That's
nice. The holy circle of Perforos.
It's barely a circle.
Of Perforos' hammer, and I'm going to bring it down.
All right, so it strikes the hoplite in the middle. Roll your attack.
Okay. 19.
Damn.
19 does hit.
This poor man.
Oh, you guys are rolling good. Jeez.
4 force damage.
All right, again, you just see it clang into the armor when they're already off balance from Briseis' strike, and certainly inflict some damage. Anything else?
Let's get them out of the way. And I end my turn.
All right, Kate, you're up.
All right, I am also going to try and hop across this body of water. And I have been extensively researching how the long jump works with a running start in 5e to make sure I was doing it correctly. As long as I've moved more than 10 feet in my movement as I approach the jump, which I plan on doing so in my approach, I get to roll a d8 in addition to my strength to
Mirthful
determine
leap.
the distance I can jump. The d8 is because of Mirthful Leap. It's a satyr thing!
Yay, satyr mechanics. Let's go.
So it's going to be a 12 plus my d8 will be how far I can jump.
Nice.
Here we go. So that
That's
is
a
17 feet. Which
You can jump
looks more
across?
than enough.
Yep, I'd say with 17 feet of movement, you can easily make it across. You don't have to roll. All right, you're across.
Joined on this side.
Yeah! I'm dashing towards that flag, but I believe I've used up just about all my
I
movement.
think you have, yes.
Yes, I have.
All right. So, anything else? Sorry.
Are we attacking them? Because I feel weird
we've
about
already-
that.
Divine
Oh,
smited.
we punched him.
Yeah.
We got punched hard.
That poor guy in the middle is getting effed up.
All right, then I'm going to apply the hunter's mark to the dude in the back.
All right, to Diomedes.
To Diomedes, yes, that fellow.
Nerd.
So
All right, so
I
he
got
gets
my eye on
Hunter's
you.
marked. You can have the snail of Hunter's mark as is tradition. All right. Anything
Oh,
else?
thank you. believe that's cantrip, right? Or that's a bonus.
That's your bonus action,
And,
yes.
So yeah, I already moved and jumped, so I don't
All
think
right.
I can do anything else.
Sweet. Diomedes' turn. So, watching his hoplite weather the blows even, in the middle of the bridge, he turns towards you, Nikos, grinning, and he goes, "A fine tactic. Now it's our turn." And with this, he runs at you. However, as he runs at you, you realize that his sword is by his side. And he takes a running kick at your chest.
Jesus.
Which
Okay.
is a
He's waiting for this.
which is a 17 to hit.
Ooh, baby, that goes well over my AC.
You're gonna get Spartan kicked.
Could you
into
make
the-
me a strength check, please?
Oh,
Oh,
He's gonna get kicked in the
baby, I've
ass.
got a
straight
strength.
right over.
Oh, that's oh, hang on, 1 second. Come on, strength. Why is this not checking?
Click the
Clicking
strength
strength.
button.
I'm clicking the strength button. It's not popping up. Hang on. Oh,
Let me,
do
maybe I
just
can try for you.
yeah. See if you can. If not, I can do it manually. Roll d20 plus 1.
I think roll 20 is upsy dupsy.
It
Oh.
showed up.
The first one was a 15. We're
Okay.
taking that one.
15. Doesn't quite make it, I'm afraid.
Oh!
As he runs towards you and just manages to get purchase on your chest at the end of his stride, planting his foot in your chest. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. However, as he's doing it, you see his beaming grin, and he just goes, "This is Akros, Malaysian fool," and you get knocked 10 feet back, which sends you plummeting into the river.
Technically, I was only made in Malaysia. I wasn't actually born there.
And with this, with a beaming grin on his face, you see him swiftly look towards Hixus, who appears to be stifling a laugh. And with the rest of his movement, he is going to run down here and block your path, kick,
Oh.
as he now actually readies his sword in his hands. So, over to the hoplites. The 2 hoplites who are not held personed are simply going to take stabs at you, Briseus. The one to the top only rolls an 11, that's not good at all. But the one to the middle rolls a 22, which I'm going to assume hits.
Yes.
And that is 11 points of piercing damage. And now I will roll to break the hold person of the other one. And they roll a 4, so they're still hold personed.
Yep.
Hold personed. And that resolves their turn, actually. So, to Fosra, you're up.
Well, I see 2 lines of action that are reasonable. It said that just putting them to sleep wouldn't be sportsman. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and run over here
All
using
right.
20 feet of my movement. Then as a bonus action, I will cast Misty Step. Need to make sure I note that I had used a spell slot.
Beautiful.
Boop. Which sends me 30 feet, which would be, I believe, here. Yep. That was only 20 of my movement,
Yep.
of my natural movement, so I'll take, I have 15 more. Which will put me, I think, here. Nope. There. Okay. So that's 15.
You're just like scrobbling for the flag, like, ah!
No, dude, I'm just like,
That's the rules of the game, right?
I'm great. Yes.
Capture the
They're
flag.
all being dealt with. So I will use my action to dash. So that'll give me the additional 35. So
Nice.
that's 5. How do I take the flag?
You can just pick it. It's an object interaction. You get 1 for free every turn, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Opening a door.
Yep.
How do I annotate that I have the flag though?
We will just say you have the flag. You can
You
have.
have the Vanquisher's
Tell you what,
banners,
you can
okay.
have the stopwatch of stop everybody. I've got the flag.
So I still have 30 feet of movement.
Bloody hell.
Just gonna run and jump over the hoplites.
No, that sounds like a terrible idea. Instead, I'm gonna go over here.
All right.
Jesus.
Yes.
And
He's
the
away, like-
flag is... Yep, the flag's
And
coming
that's
with
my
you.
turn.
All right.
Hey, you told me I can't make him go to sleep. I'm just gonna yeet myself to the flag. Everyone else is distracted right now.
Felix Eclectos, take it away.
I see Diomedes running down here to kick, and I'm like, oh no. Bardic inspiration, I'm gonna give it to kick, and we're like, kick, move,
No.
quick, do the thing, jump, get out of there. And then I'm going to move up to here-ish. Actually, let me go over here. No, wait, hang on. I'm gonna take a shot at this guy. All right, so Kick, you got
All right.
bardic inspiration, and I am going to see what we do here. I have a short bow.
You do.
I do. Actually, I want to vicious mockery this guy.
Okay.
I want to be like, hey, Diomedes, you look fat in that armor, and your mama doesn't love you anymore. So I don't know. That's just what I'm attempting to do. So
All right.
yay.
So
You have to
vicious
work with these
mockery
people
is
after this.
a wisdom save, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So he rolls a 21.
Damn it! That did nothing.
Oh.
Okay. Then I'm seeing that did nothing, and be like,
You didn't
sorry,
get
Kick,
the
bye. Run up there. Yeah,
All right.
that's my turn.
All right. So, who's next? Nikos, you're up.
It's me. Right. Well, I'm drenched. I don't know exactly how a Nyxborn can become wet, but I am. I will spend my turn clambering back across this side of the yeah.
So you can still take an action. That's just all of your movement, basically.
Okay.
Throw
well,
the flag!
I can't. It's not in my hand. I
Not
will-
you!
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not gonna risk eating the flag.
I got confused about. You know what? It's fine. It's all a big error. I'm going to just yell at to Fosra. If you can throw me the flag, we can. This could all be over very, very quickly. I don't really know what else I can realistically do. I guess I could take a pot shot at your man in the middle with my bow.
could.
I think I'll do that. I'll take a wee shot
All right.
at the man.
Roll your wee shot.
There we go. A chang. Ooh, a 20.
Yeah, that certainly
Nice.
hits.
Sweet. And 1d6 plus piercing.
Oh, you
yeah,
guys are high
yes.
rolling the attacks. Oh my god.
Yeah. 9.
Okay, yeah. The arrow clangs into the armor. Seems to leave a dent for sure.
Excellent. I'll go. That's for the kick. I know you didn't do it, but that's for the kick.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's me done.
Briseus, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna attack the paralyzed one that's hit with full person. So I believe that gives me advantage.
Oh, yes,
on
it
the
does. Yeah, it
attack.
does.
So I'll swing at him.
All right.
15.
That does
With
not hit, I'm
advantage.
afraid.
That doesn't hit.
Shit.
No.
Oh
These are
no.
armored hoplights in a phalanx, dude. You've been,
Oh, no.
you've been rolling over 20 every time you attack.
Oh dear. My plan. That I don't have anything else that I can do really.
I love how you're just into Rise's
I'm sorry, Darius. I can't. I'm stuck. I'll just have to end my turn there.
Darius. You see Briseus flailing at the wall of shields. Even at the one that's not moving and somehow not hitting.
All right. I have a question. Could I dive into the water
Ooh.
and then use my movement?
Do you have a swim
to-
speed? Because you are.
I do.
Yes, I would say you can then. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I just say, enough of this, and I dive straight into the water, and I use my all of my movement to get around,
All right. Yeah, that works.
and I will hit him with my mace.
All right, hit him.
24.
Yeah, that's a natural 20 actually.
Crit.
So that certainly
Yep,
hits.
that was correct.
Bloody hell.
Dang.
I'm very glad you went that direction.
Full block. 5.
We've got the defense. We got the center. I'm obviously the center.
What am I? The streaker on the field.
So yeah.
You're the one that's going like, good luck.
I feel like
here."
Nikos is the streaker on the
Here.
field.
So yeah, roll your damage for the mace.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you click mace, it'll do it with automatic double dice and
Yes.
stuff.
5.
Nice. 5 points damage. So, yeah. You manage to find an opening in their armor, of course, by getting around the side of them, and you clang them in the back with the mace, but they are wearing expertly crafted armor, it does appear, so not a huge amount of damage, but you certainly land a hit.
Understood. And as my bonus action, I would like to also hit him with the spiritual weapon.
All right, roll your attack.
14.
Does not hit, I'm afraid.
Okay.
So, anything else?
That is it. I'm going to say, run for it!
I know that.
All right,
I'm well aware.
Cake, you are up.
Oh man, we're hitting things. All right, so I'm just gonna scooch between these two here, and I'm going to try to hit Diomedes. I wrote his name down, and I think I
Well
said
done.
it wrong anyway.
No, Diomedes is
With-
correct.
Cool. With my short sword.
Do it.
Stab.
Ow!
13 does not hit, I'm afraid.
13 does not hit.
Nope.
That is unfortunate. But I got that Void Breaker, which means that since there's another fellow within 5 feet, I get to attack him as well.
Nice.
So I'm also gonna try and smack the fellow to my north.
You have advantage, eh?
Yeah, you do, because they're hold person.
Oof.
That is a 15.
15 does not hit, I'm afraid.
Oof.
What if I use my Bardic Inspiration for an extra D6 on that? Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Isn't that what you're supposed to use it for?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
Isn't that
future
on the-
reference, you have to do it before you know.
Yeah, you have to do it before
Oh,
you know
I thought
whether
I
it's a
thought that it was
success or not.
something that you used after you determined your rolls.
Nope. So
Ah,
it's after you
well
get
then-
the roll, but before it's determined, if that makes sense.
I don't understand how that works
So,
because I'm not used to
basically-
working with bards.
Okay, so if you roll a 15, and then you say, I want to use my Bardic Inspiration, that's fine. But if you roll a 15, I tell you that fails, and then you decide to use your Bardic Inspiration, you can't do that.
It's
So
like
you have
trying
to
to counter a
guess,
spell that's
basically,
already
yeah.
resolved.
Yeah,
If
pretty
you
much.
get like a
But it's
13,
fine.
you're like, that's
I'll allow
not
it as
good.
fine. You have a 20. You
I
hit.
see.
So
Alright,
you can roll
so
your
I'll-
damage, that's fine.
I'll smack that fellow, and I'm smacking him for. Let's see if this button works. I was testing it before, and it was not working quite correctly.
Just click the
Alright,
click the word short sword, and then like so I just did it there. You see?
Yes,
A+1.
I've clicked the word short sword, and
Then you gotta click it on the in the roll thingy.
Yeah, so in the
Click-
chat
click the
window,
word
click
short
the
sword.
word short sword.
oh, you click
Yeah.
it in the chat window.
There we go.
Whoa.
Wait, do you have dueling style?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, cool. All right, awesome. So yeah, you deal 11 points of damage.
Bam.
So you
For
get
extra
a
smacking.
solid thrust off. Big pog.
Ha
All right.
And then I stay there, holding my sword, feeling very triumphant.
All right, Diomedes' turn.
Uh-oh.
So, Diomedes is going to actually run and dash at the river, and he's going to try to leap over it.
Nah.
Wait, attack
Amy,
of
you get attack
opportunity,
of
right?
opportunity. Yep. Okay,
All right,
he
let
easily
me-
clears the river.
I'm gonna try and smack this dude on his way over.
21 hits. Roll your damage.
Alrighty. And I
Alright, 8
also
points
get
of
an
damage,
additional
nice.
D6 of damage because he was my
He's Hunter's Mark. That's true. Yeah.
So let's roll D6. So +3.
All right. So, yeah, he takes 9 points of damage. So you get a solid slash off at him as he's running away. And he is going to then... How much movement was that? That was
Nice
20.
jump, dude!
He's going to run 35, so run up there.
Hey, oh, you must have a very high strength roll to make that as a standard.
Oh, you're gonna throw a jab on me or something.
I'm going to throw something at you. You see Diomedes reach down into one of the pouches seemingly attached to the cape on his armor and bring something out that resembles a bunch of lead balls with a net in between them.
Oh, nice.
And he starts spinning it in one hand and
Leonin.
throws it
These damn
across
Akroans have done this to my people for too long.
at Tefosra. Yeah, he rolls a... hang on, he's got a different range modifier, but he rolls a 21 to hit.
I think it hits.
Now, as you are hit, you take a staggering total of... Oh, okay,
0 points
4
of
points of bludgeoning damage. And you are grappled. Now, you can use your action on your turn to make a strength check, attempting to free yourself. However, you are currently grappled and your movement is reduced to 0.
It has to be strength?
Yep.
Oh, I'm never getting out of this.
It's not that hard, you probably can. Alright,
I have a -1 to strength.
well, it's going to be in the lap of the gods then. Alright, so...
I can't use Dex.
The hoplites, you cannot. The hoplites, the one battling you, Lavinius, is going to take a stab at you. with its
Okay.
pike. That is that's actually really good. It's a 24 to hit.
That does hit.
So you take 5, 3, 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And the one in the middle is going to take a swing at you, Briseis. That's only an 8, so that doesn't hit. And the one at the bottom is going to roll to break its hold person finally, which it does. Hooray! So you see the hoplite at the bottom reanimate and creak back to life, looking rather startled. However, that is its entire turn. So, Tefosra, you're up, and you are wrapped in the net of this bowler.
Chuck it! I'm open!
I do not trust several things about that.
It's worth saying this flag is like a battle standard. Throwing it would be very difficult. You can try.
I thought
As
it
the
was something
famous saying
different.
goes, you're welcome to try.
My movement's 0, right?
Yep,
Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Misty Step.
that works.
I'm not gonna throw it, but I guess I'll hand it off. So let's see. That's 30. So I don't really trust Nikos, but I will attempt to give Nikos the flag.
I'm just gonna bring it to the middle bit.
I'm gonna look over in fear.
And then
Surely
I guess after that I'll do a strength check.
15.
Oh,
All right,
wow,
yeah,
15.
you managed to rip the bolus off you, restoring your movement.
All right, well, yeah, I'm just gonna run with it then.
Oh, I held it for one glorious moment.
You hold it for 0 moments.
He didn't get to.
He just waves it at you.
No.
It's like,
I'm supposed to take it what here?
Yep.
I'll put it in the ground.
All right. As soon as you put it in the ground, you hear a solitary clapping noise from the stands above as Hixus is clapping. As he starts doing so, the hoplites raise their shields and spears to a standing position, and Diomedes sheaths the sword onto his back and begins clapping as well and goes, perhaps not the Akroan way, but you have bested us very well.
Yeah,
They'll
we
lower
did.
their
We're
weapons.
very good at jumping.
Mm.
And this-
I'm over here like I don't have like a shield or a real weapon. So I just like I'll give him like a
Don't you have a
bow type
dagger?
thing.
Bow. Nice. You can bow
I mean,
to
I have
him.
a stick.
I was
a
about to
random
panic
twig.
shatter this guy running at me, so it's very it's good that
Nice.
Panic shatter?
Sake.
panic
Yeah,
shatter.
wouldn't you
Yeah.
hit like all of us if
Shadow.
you did that?
Yes.
That's
Just
my
imagining
thing.
a satyr freaking out. So, ah.
Oh, I
That
released
spell
hold
taken
person
away.
on the poor
No,
hoplite.
they already broke it. They rolled and broke
Oh,
it.
did they? Okay,
They did. All right.
fine.
So as you do that, the hoplites begin to retreat and kind of regroup and sort their equipment out. But Diomedes remains standing, watching you all regroup. What would you like to do?
I'd like to go up and shake his hand.
He reaches a hand out and firmly clasps your forearm and shakes it. He goes, "That was wise of you. I thought I had you with the bowler."
I thought you did as well. I am surprised I was able to wrench myself out of it. To be honest,
Me too.
I lost a bit of vigor in my day. However, it seems
Well,
myself summoned me.
I got to kick that damnable Nyxborn back into the river, so
I saw
I'm
that. Quite funny.
satisfied.
I was about to come up and have a
That's
chat,
good.
but no, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
She's roll winning today.
Kicked right into the water.
That was pretty great.
I'm wringing out my toga,
Yeah.
muttering things like wanker under my breath.
And this Diomedes does wander up to you and gives you a harsh pat on the back and goes, "You handled that well, I'll give you that."
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to fall backwards into a horrid, horrid pool of water.
And with
I'm glad
this,
we
he beams a
still
grin at you and
Wasn't so
goes,
bad.
"Don't worry. Most people who suffer that fate tend to have a spear sticking out of them, so count yourself lucky."
Okay, cool. That's a threat, and I walk off. It's still ringing it out. I don't want any part of this.
So with this, Hixus makes his way down a small stone staircase on the side of the arena, and he walks up to you, Briseis, Darius, and Kick at the front, and he goes, "Well, my word is my word. It seems as though you've won my men over. Diomedes seems impressed. We shall march to Melis's aid."
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
Something.
Tell me, what will you do after this?
Well, we will be seeking Timoret, I imagine. But I was curious. You mentioned a name of a stronghold or a place.
Ah.
Do you know where he would be held up?
Yes. Timoret rules an entire city. A fortress city, perhaps you could call it, called Odunos, to the west. It lays on the shore, beyond the lands of the dead. It is not a welcoming place.
Would you have a map or a way that we could find it?
Maps of Theros are rare and expensive. They require great skill to create. But I see no reason why one wouldn't be a fitting gift. You are my guests, after all. I shall have one prepared for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It will take at least a day to do, though. I suggest you rest here. You're welcome to stay at the Ludus. We have many rooms. You can stay here, so long as you are in Akros.
Very well. It'd be
Many
nice
thanks.
to see the city as well while we're here.
Yes, Akros has many sights to see. Also, remember you are in the homeland of the greatest military equipment you'll find in the world. I suggest you truly think about what you may need and prepare well for the journey ahead. I have been to Odunos once, long ago. It is not a forgiving land. The journey will be hard, and you will need many things along the way. I recommend you stock up appropriately.
Very well.
Quick question: if we have a bit of time, would you all be interested in going to watch a play? If there aren't any around, I'm sure there must be in the city this size.
Yes, what a delightful proposition.
Felix, my friend, my time will be spent at the local forge. I want to be able to look at them and see their work, since they have such marvelous weaponry and gear here.
Oh, of course. You know, it's just if we have time. You know, got a day to kill. So, Nikos, do you want to go?
You know what? After being kicked in the chest by a man, I would love nothing more than to go to the theater and have a sit down and not be kicked in the chest ever again. I'm in, is what I'm saying.
Good.
So this
then.
takes us simply nods towards you and goes, well, I'm not sure if you'll find any theaters performing these days in Akros. I fear that may be somewhat more of a Malaysian pastime, but I'm sure you'll find many sights to see. However, for now, evening is dawning upon us. I recommend you take rest. You must be ravenous. Good combat always does that to a man.
And woman.
Come to think about it, I am very hungry, so let's find food first.
Let us go, then you and eyes, and away to the night and food.
So as the party gather their things together and head off to find food in the night in Akros, that's where we'll leave the session for today. So, thank you so much for playing. I had a lot of fun this time. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
That was really
a great one.
silly.
Yeah, it
I
was
loved
good.
it.
Having
That was
a-
fun.
We'll
I got drop kicked.
we'll
I
rejoin the
learned how to
party.
jump
Part,
in
not
Dungeons and
close.
Dragons.
We'll rejoin the party in 2 weeks' time when we'll see where else we can kick Nikos. So
No!
thank you
Please!
so much for watching. It's been
He's
an absolute
only
pleasure.
6.
We'll see you. Oh yeah, one thing that's awesome is we'll see you this Sunday, so fairly soon, for the first part of Craig's miniseries, which will be awesome.
Hey,
So
wouldn't
make
that
sure
be
you
fun?
check that out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Take care from all of the cast, and we will of course see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.